Thank you for listening to BizPod with me, Paul.
And me, Rachel.
Our weekly business English podcast where we talk about the news, social media, and hot topics from a business point of view. You'll get a podcast and links to the articles we discuss. This way you can share your thoughts too. Join us as we discuss what's on our minds this week.
Paul, how do you feel about your work? Do its daily demands leave you feeling burnt out and drained of energy?
On a regular basis?
Yes.
Not really, no. What about you?
I feel a little bit burnt out today because I was concentrating very hard and I had 2 computers, 4 screens and my phone open.
What about your tablet? Did you have your tablet going as well?
I didn't actually have my tablet going, no.
Okay. Maybe you should have had your tablet going as well. That would have been like, 4 screens, a phone and a tablet.
Well, I was using 3 screens on one computer so much that I was actually draining the energy from it quicker than I could charge it up. So I had to get the other laptop out.
Okay.
So, but I was concentrating.
You're burning energy, Rach.
Yeah, but I was really, really trying to understand something and concentrate on something. So today, yes, I feel burnt out. But normally, I don't feel burnt out about my work, thankfully.
Okay, which is good because we're talking about sort of burnout and this idea of quiet quitting from work, from your job.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's happening?
I don't know. They call it symptoms of deteriorating relationships with work. I mean, do you think post-COVID, the evaluation of work-life balance, people have realised they don't want to do what they're doing?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they don't want to do what they're doing. I think maybe priorities have changed. Some people, or a lot of people, have realised that work isn't the be-all and end-all of everything. It is just a job. In a sense.
So they're working to live rather than living to work.
Yeah, I think it does depend on the type of job you're doing and the type of company you're working for.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you work for a company where you do have maybe a lot of autonomy in terms of what you do. You get a lot of responsibility. And you kind of like feel like you're your own boss and you're free to do your job. I think in those situations, people seem happier. But I think in a lot of cases, you're just a cog in a wheel in a machine.
And then they make you redundant.
Of course they do. Eventually. Then you get too old.
Oh!
And the technology moves on and you know.
That's what I was trying to learn today. I was doing a course on generative AI because I'm trying to make sure that I understand it, that I know how to use it to stay relevant.
Okay. I think you're relevant, Rach.
Thank you.
to me at least.
Oh dear. But I mean, not talking about relevance, let's talk about prevalence.
Okay.
Yeah, and popularity.
Of what?
Of people's attitude to the way they earn a living. What is the popular response these days? Are people looking for a career? Are people just looking for money? Are people looking for entertainment? What do they want?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. I mean, we're of a different generation. We were, I think I'm right in saying that you and I, when we were sort of, growing up, we were still taught that you get a job and you have a career.
Yeah.
And,
you stay working for the same company, don't
you? Yeah, you were probably, expected to stay working for the same company for the next 40 years until you retired.
Oh, God.
And there are probably some people who still do that, but we certainly didn't take that path.
No. In fact, it was quite challenging to stay working for the same company because you got bored, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was too dictatorial, or there wasn't autonomy. There's a lot in the article about autonomy, that people want to have control over what they're doing and be able to see their influence.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think working for a big organisation, you can have autonomy, you can have control over what you're doing, you can see, the value of your input?
I think you can, but it depends on the how the company operates, the values of the company.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's possible, but it depends.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe again, just my personal view of understanding is that sort of, let's call them younger people, don't really view the traditional career as an option anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they would rather spend shorter periods of time doing things that they really enjoy doing before moving on to the next project or the next opportunity.
Project-based work.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the way people are talking about the future of work, it being project-based. You come together for a certain period of time to work on a particular project. Mm-hmm. You bring your particular key skills to that project. Mm-hmm. And then after that project finishes, you all go away and find other projects.
Well, that would tie in with what I learnt today about generative AI.
Yeah.
Saying it's going to sort of take away tasks and leave us with the time and the opportunity to be creative.
Yeah.
You don't sound like you believe that.
Well, the problem with that is, what happens when we all become creative people? Who's actually going to do the real work when we're all creative?
I think the thing is, there are fewer opportunities for that. I mean, there is this thing with AI. AI can only generate results based on the data that's in there. And if you let it take over certain tasks, they're going to be all the same. Whereas the human element will be, the creativeness is individual, it's different. Yeah, that's the idea from what I understand of it. But I do agree with you, there are fewer opportunities there. There's not going to be employment for the masses.
Oh, employment for the masses. That's you and me, Rachel. We are part of the masses, I'm afraid.
Well, we're going to become builders. We heard on the news today that, what is it, that they're going to need to find 500,000 builders?
Yeah.
in the next...
Builders, plumbers, electricians.
Yeah.
Someone said nuclear physicists.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the AI, it is using so much power.
Yeah. You need to create electricity.
You need to create more electricity.
Yeah.
And nuclear power is possibly the cleanest and most efficient way to create all of that power. So we need all to become nuclear physicists, people working in nuclear power stations.
Wow.
Yeah.
I used to like visiting the nuclear power station when we used to go to Anglesey.
Yeah.
It was fun.
It was, yeah. So yeah, maybe we're all going to be experiencing a massive career shift in the next 5 years.
Well, you talk about career. I mean, project-based work, that sounds to me like people are going to be freelancers rather than employees. I mean, that releases a lot of burden on companies, isn't it? Providing healthcare and sick pay. And, so maybe, they're going to love it, aren't they?
Maybe companies will really enjoy that
insurance companies will love it.
Yeah.
Because people will be needing to take out insurance policies.
Yeah. But I think also the companies will have less control over the people as well. So there's going to be sort of both sides to look at. You might be just employing freelancers on a contract basis, but then you have less control over that group of people in a sense, because they're not employees. Mm-hmm. So there's things to think about in terms of that as well. I don't know.
Okay.
I think you and me are going to be okay for the next 5 years at least.
Well, I said 5 years, but after doing this AI course, 3.
Okay. What's going to happen in 3 years?
We're going to be out of a job, Paul.
No one's going to need English language teachers.
Well, I'll tell you what, I got lots of ideas on how to improve my Italian with AI, which made me think none of them involve me having to book a lesson with a teacher. So...
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be the case. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
We will have to see.
If
see. We are still here in 2028, then everything's okay in the world.
Yeah.
But if not, there'll be no more BizPods for people to listen to.
No, there won't.
No, there will, because we'll just be creatives creating BizPod. That will be our job.
Okay, all right, yeah, we can do that.
Yeah. I don't know how
So,
we're gonna. I don't know how we're gonna earn a
rubbish.
living. Yeah, talking rubbish and yeah.
Okay, all right, fine. Well, what guidance, what advice, what key takeaways do we have for our listeners here?
Based on this article,
Yeah.
If you don't like your job, quit and find something you do.
Yes, you only live once. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that's all they need to know.
Yeah.
Don't, you only live once. You're dead a very long time. So if you're not happy in your job, just go and do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. We hope you liked our podcast, and please don't forget to subscribe and stay connected with us. Until next time, goodbye.